just picked this thing up. Got my transmission back already, just a little under a week, so got a quick turnaround. All rebuilt, got my valve body in there, got my pan on it. Did find out this thing is not a Turbo 435, so he said it's just a regular Turbo 400. It's got the helical gear, so all these years I thought it was a 475. It's not. It's just a Turbo 400, so the exact same thing that's in my truck. So I actually still have my other trans is still in the truck, so I gotta pull that one out and still need to then get some fluid in the converter and throw that on. So I got that new converter. Yeah, probably get started time-lapse thing and pulling the old one out and getting that one put in.
A few moments later.
Got trans out of my truck now. Got the new one ready to go in. So purple one was the one that was in my truck. And you can see I had an ear broken off. So that's partly why I wanted to get the other Turbo 400 that I had, the other case, that one built up, because I'm gonna have to end up doing putting a different bell housing on that thing or something. This is the ear. When it broke, I dropped it. It was my fault. I had just picked it up from that one getting built, and it fell over off the jack stand, broke this ear off. So I just JB welded it back on and ran it like that, the way it was. Kind of seemed to work. This, I broke it back off when I was pulling it back out, and I kind of banged it on the frame and it fell off. So, yeah, this new case, that one's hopefully not cracked yet. Hopefully I don't drop that when I go to put it in. I don't actually have a trans jack, so I do the really sketchy, just balance it on one of my jacks and jack it up and try to not have it fall over while you're sliding it in place. So that's my method. Hopefully it works out for me. I'm at that crucial moment where transmission is now balancing on the jack. So that is what we're working with, balancing on the jack. Normally I have the jack facing the handle, so it'd be back here so I could grab it, and I'd be guiding the thing with one hand and pumping the jack up with the other. But really gonna try to avoid breaking an ear off of the bell housing on this new case, since this is a rebuilt trans now. It'd be nice to have a not broken case like that one over there. I'm gonna go ask Shelby for some help, have her run the jack this thing up, and then I can use two hands to guide this thing up on the dowel pins, get a bolt in it. As soon as it's up, I can, this is my trans cross member that I have. So I just leave the one side bolted up because it's a bushing, it's like a poly bushing, and then another poly bushing on that side goes to those mounts. So once you slide it up, you just slide a bolt in, and then it's in. And then that piece there, this gets bolted to the bottom of it, and then that bolts to the tail housing mounts, which are up and under there. So I'm going over a few things. I'm changing torque converter, and this is a different case now. So something I want to check is how much my spacing on my flex plate to my trans converter. So the converter right now is pushed all the way in, up against the pump, up against the seal right now. So it's all the way in, and you always, you want to make sure you come in here and measure what this gap is. So this converter does not line up flush with this flex plate, and neither any converter that I ever run in this. They all tend to sit back. So I have these feeler gauges here come in you want to measure your distance and pretty equal. You know, make sure you get let's see if I can get that to focus. Measure your distance on what your spacing is with that all the way in against the pump. And for a Turbo 400 and for these, it's recommended to be out an 1/8 inch of slip to 3/16. So that's 0.125 to 0.187 that you want this thing to be pulled out when you tighten this up. So I actually am double checking this right here. These are my washers. You always want to make sure you measure these with calipers or something to make sure you have even spacing, but these measure to be 0.14. So my shim stack that I have was 0.27. So it was a little over, my spacing right now is a little over 1/4 of an inch. So it's 0.27. These are 0.14. So when I put these in here with my bolts, let's see, I'll put these on the inside in between my flex plate and my converter, and I'll run a bolt through there. And when this cinches up, that will then give me 0.13. So I am right at the minimum of spacing you need. So the reason you need that spacing is you can barely see the torque converter input shaft, or output shaft, I guess, whatever you want to call it, that's going in to the transmission. That right now, like I said, is up against the pump. So as this is a flex plate, so as this thing spins, this is going to flex, and they will, as it spins faster, it's going to flex backwards. These flex plates flex backwards, which means this converter moves in towards the transmission this way. So that's why you need that 1/8 inch minimum to 3/16 maximum of disengagement or spacing. I guess not disengagement. You don't want disengagement. You want that spacing. So I'm going to be at 0.13 out this way. So I have 0.13 of clearance for this thing to be flexing. So if you didn't understand spacing and that, maybe help explain it a little bit more. But one of those things that whenever you're making changes, these things, these are all just welded converters and stuff like that. So this stuff can change. Even if you buy the exact same torque converter, it's always a good idea to just double check your spacing. Make sure you don't wipe your pump out in your transmission, or if it's too far that way, you could wipe out your thrust bearing in your engine. So there we go. Yeah, just double checking my spacing. I'm all good. So I'll throw those in there, get my converter bolts on now.
Day 2.
All right, finally getting a little bit of time to come back to this thing and trying to wrap up transmission stuff. So got my fittings in. These are the GM fittings to dash 6 AN lines, and then I ordered some new 45s as well for the dash 6 for the hoses that go back. So that's where I'm at. For the most part, most stuff's buttoned up. I do need to get the drive shaft bolted back on, but I got my clamp, which holds my check valves, and my cooler lines up in here. And I'm going to make new lines from these fittings forward. So these lines now, where I put this, make it a little short to reach where those fittings are going to screw into the trans. So I got to put those on. And then I need to take these lines off, remeasure, and then make some new lines with the new fittings. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm working on. Get that wrapped up. Get the thing filled up with some fluid, do a good check over on everything, and probably take it out for a test drive. Got the trans lines and fittings all in now and buttoned up. Got stuff zip tied all out of the way. That's my starter power wire, big cable plus the S wire runs up back through there. Got those matching 45s on there now. That just kind of cleans it up in there a little bit, and then also helps me shoot those lines perfectly up and over this wonderfully crafted down header, down pipe, whatever you want to call it. We got all sorts of stuff going on in here. Look at that. That guy is literally touching the tube. It's been like that. If you actually see, that's just like a stock truck manifold. See if we can get it to focus. A stock truck manifold flange. And it's actually, I had to grind that all down with a grinder when I put that in. There's a slight little notch. Well, not through in the tube, but it is, it's a little tight in there, I guess you'd say. I'm trying to figure out how to work the phone under here with the gloves on. It's not working, but nonetheless, torque converter's in. You can see my spacing in there. So that should be good to go. Pan is all buttoned up. Yeah, all that stuff. Got the lines out here all hooked up and zip tied all nice and tight and snug again. I did go through and double check my shift linkage. Going through every gear, I had Shelby out here helping me, taking the linkage off and then shifting and checking it in every gear to make sure there's no like pushing. So if when you're in second gear, it's not like the cable's pushing on and actually holding the thing slightly out of second gear. So just double check it because it's a new case, but everything looks good. I don't have to move any of that. Yeah, there we go. Well, all right, here we go. with the truck. So far seems to be pretty good. Lake Michigan in the background. There's no one else. There's DNR's out over there somewhere. We're the only people out here, so I guess there's someone out here, but been eyeing up Test Hill for the last couple weeks, and now that truck seems to be running semi-decent. Looking at this, nice little run up. Top doesn't look too chewed up. To a pretty nice landing. There's no really big knuckle or anything. The further over you get, there's kind of more of a knuckle, so you can kind of see my truck for scale, but jumping, it's a little bit bigger gap over there, so I'll start down here and see if we can clear this. Pretty much from there to about in here somewhere. We'll kick Shelby out and go give it a try.
I'll push.
This is part of the problem coming out here by yourself. If you're not careful, I thought I parked far enough down on the downside, but sand's a little soft. Hopefully we'll get a big enough pad cleared out that I can just kind of rock back and forth and pack it down. Holy shit! Alright, that was supposed to be my easy one. I almost was gonna hit it faster. Good thing I didn't, because I would have just front flipped this thing. Look at my marks, see those?
I went and looked at them.
Holy shit! Oh! Alright, that's a one and done. That's a one and done, because at least for right here, I need to move over. I did not think I was going to be jumping that far on that. That lip is so awesome. We literally zoom in, look past the truck, look over there. We can go hit that shit. All the way to the fucking downside of that. Holy shit. Damn. Dude, I got like a spinal crack on that one.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or
Well,
what portion?
Spinal.
So that was by far the biggest send we've had in a while in the truck. So that was the test run, and you can see there's my marks. We're gonna go check them out and pace them out, but I definitely was on the front bumper and I could feel it. I was praying to Jesus, oh Lord Jesus, that we were gonna come and kiss the ground. But for reference, Shelby's over there standing at the takeoff where I took off, and we landed down there. So pretty gnarly to be like the only people out in Silver Lake, and we're just like sending a 1968 pickup like easily 100 feet through the air through the dunes. Maybe it's not like the smartest thing. That's why we're gonna be one and done. I definitely thought I was gonna have to work my way up into that, but we barely hit that and just booted to the moon. Let's see if we can see the track. So let's see, where did I take off? Where did I take off?
Right there.
There's some tracks. Huh, I must have been a little, oh, okay, there they are. So yeah, that's me right there. These tracks, so, oh, never mind, I'm way off. Maybe that must be where I drove up first. Okay, I see him now. Maybe. Yeah, about right here. Okay. Yeah. So these tracks, these are me. Those are a Gladiator. So came up right through here. You can see left the ground right about there where I'm standing. And Shelby's up there. Stick your arm up. Oh, can't even see you. Are you standing at the mark?
Yeah, I'm in the mark.
Oh, there we go. So yeah. Shelby's all the way up there. You gotta go up and over the hill. Jeez. Man, my speed estimation was way off on that. The new gear ratio and everything, I still don't have the speed kind of figured out. And I definitely was hitting that about like 15 mile an hour faster than I was planning on. Yeah, I was looking all the way. Wow. Look at that. So yeah, I think my front bumper dug right there. I felt the front end dig a little bit and then come down, and then smooth sailings from there. So, man. All right, we're gonna pace it out and see how many. I'm just gonna do like strides and see how many. I'm about like a 3-foot stride. So, 1, 2. So 37. So what's 37 times 3? 90, 21, 111 feet, roughly. So yeah, definitely could call that one a 100-footer, but about 100. So right now, my biggest jump ever was measured at like 100 and I think it's like 136 feet or something like that, and that was in Oklahoma. And this one was about 111. So still pretty big, felt pretty similar. I haven't gone that big in the truck in a long time, so. The dunes have not been shaped up like this, so it's gonna be a good year up here this year. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's so big. I wanna like jump it 100 more times, but then I'm like, I should save it. Like, I'm pretty good with that dose of adrenaline. All right, let's go home before I ruin it doing something else.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that? You
My
broke
back is broken.
what? A vertebrae or
Well,
what portion?
Spinal.